Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Mind Management Mentors podcast. A big believer, if it's in the mind, it can be managed. And today's something different. With the podcast, I try to give away as much information, whether it's for people who are struggling and procrastinating and not moving forward, touching on what you just talked about there, Barry. I help people overcome that procrastination, but this one's for the coaches. The coaches who are sat there, they don't know how to do the marketing, they don't know how to do their social media. Um, I would say it's an area I want to learn more about and things like that. But that's the power of what we're going to do in this podcast. Introduce yourself and tell us who you are, what you do, and where you're from.
So I'm Barry. I am a social media coach with a bit of marketing in there as well. I am from Central Scotland in Livingston area, and I've been doing this on and off for several years, amongst loads of other things, which includes being dog's body to my good lady who has a gym, and we had a cafe, and we had our travel agents. We've been a bit. So yeah, that's pretty much that.
Where are you based, Barry?
Livingston.
Oh, not too far from me. That's all right, yeah, because I'm leaving.
Oh well, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I've not got a very soft spot for fifers.
Oh,
If you're
why
near
is
the
that?
bridge, you're a fifer. If you're
What?
near the bridge, you're a fifer. No, no.
I, I am technically from Sheffield, so even my wife says I'm not a five for yet. But what's the problem with five?
Oh, there's a different breed. No, the fifers are a different breed.
That's absolutely fantastic. Are we Chocters? Are you Ouija's and we're Chocters? Is that how it works? You're Livingston.
Livingston was originally a extension of Glasgow. It's where the displaced Glaswegians were placed.
Right. The displaced Glaswegians were placed. I love that. Right. So we're going to start talking about social media. We're going to start talking about marketing. Again, it's kind of it's that grey area for me as well. There's some things I like doing with social media. I love doing podcasts. I think it's a great way to get information out there. Sometimes I get irky with social media, TikTok, and all those kind of things. So what would be you're a social media coach. What is your area of expertise, would you say? Facebook, TikTok,
So
Instagram.
I prefer working with Instagram. Instagram is a nice platform for me. TikTok is very good if you want to make funny videos and be famous, and if you're selling a product, but not if you're selling services. Small businesses usually do better when it's if they're selling products on TikTok. But if you're selling a service, usually Instagram or Facebook is pretty standard for that kind of stuff.
Oh, I love that. I so for any coach who's sat there right now and going, I really want to turn up on Instagram. To be fair, I've actually kind of put Instagram on a back burner for me. It's Facebook and TikTok I do most of my stuff and YouTube for the podcasts. Um, I never seem to get any traction from Instagram. So you're going to be able
Uh,
to help me why and go, this is the reason you're not getting traction with Instagram, Cuddy. So Barry,
Absolutely.
go on, tell us.
I'll be honest, I rather disrespectfully hadn't checked your Instagram before this, which is very stupid of me. But yeah, if you're working on Instagram, you've got to remember it's got millions of users and it's very saturated. So you have to stand out a little bit. And the biggest thing that I tell people is you can copy people's the bigger accounts content, but you have to make it your own. The people that you want to follow you and the people that you want to work with know you personally, or if when they do get to know you personally, that's the person they want to be working with. So if you're copying somebody else and they're not, it's not your personality, you're not comfortable in that persona, that person is buying into a persona that's not you, and eventually down the line they'll switch off and not care.
it, there would be a lack of authenticity then.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So there's a
If you
misalignment of values, and there'll be a misalignment of what they're selling and who they are. And people are not stupid. We know that, right? People are just not
Yeah,
stupid. They're like there's a disconnect.
yeah, absolutely. The biggest if you want to get big numbers on Instagram, I can tell you how to get a big number straight away, and it's Ragebait. There's two things that sell
Ragebait.
psychologically. Yeah, so Ragebait. Um, if you want to be Instagram famous, Ragebait everybody. Say something the complete opposite of what people know, and just basically make everybody angry. You will get comments, you'll get um, DMs, anything, and that will bring your engagement up, and Instagram will post out to more people because you're getting more engagement, so you're keeping people on the platform, and Instagram loves that, so you will get more comments, more DMs. But the one thing I don't like about Ragebait is all it does is bring people your platform for the wrong reason.
So, is that? I was listening to something, and I'm not that offended by who I'm going to mention. I'm going to mention Jake and Logan Paul. I'm actually
Yeah,
not that. I've never really been that offended by them. I think they're super clever, and there was something. They get so much hate online, and I think the one who's the wrestler, which is I think is Logan Paul.
yeah,
He said something recently was it's not social media, it's attention media.
yeah,
How can you just need to bring attention. So that kind of sounds like very similar for the rage bait. It's
yeah,
creating attention. But do you think we're driving negativity there?
yeah. It's definitely not a process or an idea that I would teach people. I know that you can get big numbers from it, but if you're bringing people to the page for the wrong reasons, they're not going to want to buy your service. I know that Pure Gym had a big push on their social media recently, and it came from the fact that a couple of their PTs were rage baiting, and Pure Gym realised that this was getting engagement onto their pages. But I don't think, me personally, I don't think somebody lifting 20 kilo dumbbells and pretending that they're getting big arms from it, and just to get comments of people going, "You're doing it wrong," or "That's not, don't be silly, you've not got big arms." I don't think people are then going to ask you to PT them. It's just the wrong idea.
But it's the because I know you mentioned something before. If you don't mind, I'm just waiting for the algorithm. How do the algorithms technically? Because I've been focusing on YouTube. I've focused on YouTube. I've been, from my understanding and from what I learned from YouTube, it was very much they are wanting people back away from TikTok, so they are trying to do whatever they can that with good content they'll kind of push it a little bit more, and that's what I've understood from YouTube, which is clever because they're wanting to get you back.
Yeah. So with the introduction of YouTube Shorts, that was their big push to bring people back from TikTok.
Yeah,
So the algorithms for any social media, people will say you have to do this for the algorithm and you have to do this for the algorithm. The one thing that the algorithm never ever changes, no matter how many updates or different changes they make, is one thing: they want you to keep people on the platform. It's as simple as that.
yeah,
So if you're posting content that keeps people on the platform scrolling, you will do well.
nice. So, what is you've set yourself a personal challenge, and I'm intrigued to find out how that's going to go. But you believe a simple, not simple, but you believe you can get 5,000 followers from 100 posts.
I believe that I can do my 100 post challenge, which is 100 posts and get 5,000 followers. The reason I'm doing this is I have the knowledge, and I do expect it to work. And if I don't, I am going to be authentic and tell people that I absolutely screwed up.
So you are. I think it's fascinating because I see so many times that people say don't pay for Facebook ads. Don't pay for Facebook ads. But yet I see people and I'm like, oh, I'd buy that. So that their advertisement must have worked. So where's the misconnect? Is it the amount of money that people have to spend? Because a lot of people say, do this organically and you'll get the following.
Yeah, it comes down to a budget thing. So some of the massive creators that you see that take out Facebook ads, they are spending upwards of tens of thousands of pounds on Facebook ads. The main thing, if you've got a smaller budget, Facebook ads and Instagram ads and YouTube ads, TikTok ads, they do work because that's the purpose of them. They are there to get eyes onto your products. If you've got terrible content and you're not selling a very good product, people won't buy no matter how much you spend. But if you're doing the right content and sending the right content to paid ads, people will see it. And on a budget wise, you really need to dive into your niche. So there's a lot of talk about the people you're reaching out to. So on a Facebook ad, you can reach people around the world. You can spend thousands of pounds on an ad that will reach a demographic in Dubai or Australia. But if you've got a local product that you're trying to sell, is somebody from Australia going to buy it? Probably not. Is somebody in Dubai? Probably not. If they do, great, then that's your demographic. But you really need to hone in on who you're actually speaking to. Are you speaking to mothers that are local? Are you speaking to somebody international that you need to buy a product internationally? That's where the miscommunication is, where people saying you shouldn't use ads. Ads work. Ads do work. It's just what's your budget and if you can afford it and if you can justify why you're doing it. If you target the right audience, they work every day.
That's a different concept, I suppose. I've always been intrigued with that part of it for especially for coaches, because I'm like, it's weird because I've been told it's quite hard through that version. Right. So because you're working for small businesses, and you weren't by any chance working with Gym 64, were you?
No.
I just started seeing their posts pop up on my social media. I'm like, oh, that's interesting, because I've started seeing them now, and I know what they're doing with they're doing quite funny stuff on their posts for Gym 64 and Kick. So you've set yourself personally, Barry, a challenge for yourself, which is 100 posts on Instagram.
On Instagram, yeah.
And you will get, you believe that the process that you're going to follow, the one that you coach, gets you 5,000 followers. Brilliant.
Yeah.
So what is giving away as much? Somebody can say, right, I want to do Barry's challenge right now. What is the challenge and how does it work? Because Instagram is pictures and videos as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So your reels will definitely get more reach than your static posts. Your carousels will get more reach than your static posts because you're giving people more information. The carousels work best when you've got a bigger following. So before that, definitely get your personality onto the reels. And if you're naturally funny, let people see it. If you're naturally educated and very knowledgeable on your niche, let people know about it. But you've got to remember that it's just like speaking to the person down the pub. If you are putting a persona on Instagram that's not you, would you? I see it as my example's usually a telephone voice. So everybody's got a telephone voice.
I have.
Everybody's got a telephone voice, and you wouldn't use the telephone voice in the pub with your friends. So why are you trying to use a telephone voice when you're speaking to people online?
But it's hard because and it all comes down to, see, technically it comes back down to one of the biggest things I work with my clients, which is identity. And one of the hardest questions that they have to answer and struggle to answer is, who are you?
Mm.
And they look at me and go, I don't know. Do you think that's the same kind of question that you would ask someone? What is your business? What is your brand? And if they can't answer, it's going to be hard to put that into videos and conversations.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's a case of it's a fear. Everybody's got fear, and especially when you're talking about social media, because a lot of the clients I've worked with, the biggest problem they've got is they don't like being on camera. So being on camera is obviously a big thing, But with the introduction of all the AI stuff, you really don't need to be anymore. But it definitely is better if you are. And I think people get this fear that if they put themselves out on camera and people don't like it, it's a reflection on them, but it's not.
No, that's true. It's really not a reflection on them. It's a projection of the person who's watching, isn't it, as well? But
Yeah.
it's a brutal world where people can write. It's funny because I ask a lot of the people that's coming on the podcast, and I'm like, "Look, do you mind negative comments?" And why have you gotten this? No, not yet, but they have to come. Once we start building and realize we're talking a certain way, and that will trigger some people, there will be some negativity. And when actually, no, we are okay with that. But we have to. So why would you definitely say, and I think you kind of touched on this a little bit, but just to really get that value out there, why do you believe Instagram is where it's going to be better for people to get that reach?
I think just because Instagram's got so much invested in changing the algorithm and changing everything to beat everybody else. I mean, it depends on what you're doing. If your content suits longer form, I would say YouTube every time.
Yeah.
If you're giving hints and tips, Instagram. If you want to do silly dances and make people love you or hate you, TikTok. Facebook is getting to the point where it's maybe a little bit outdated, more of a local thing. If you're doing things locally, it's good for that. But if you're trying to reach a bigger audience, usually it doesn't have the same reach as Instagram.
Do you think the age demographics changed on Facebook as well? Would you suggest that Facebook's probably more 30 up, 40 up?
Yeah,
Where would you?
absolutely, definitely 30 plus up.
Yeah.
And it's the same as anything really. It's kids don't want to be on the same platform as their mum and dad. So that's why things move on.
And I don't even talk about Snapchat, but is Snapchat still where it's at?
I don't really look at Snapchat. I don't really look at Snapchat. I don't have that on my radar, to be honest. I was never really taken by Snapchat.
Yeah, me neither. It was the filters. I just couldn't cope with the filters. I was like, oh my god! But that's an age thing, isn't it? For kids, they love the filters, which is scary as hell. But there we go. So I'm going to come to you, Barry, and I'm like, Barry, you're going to teach me a 5-step process. Are you going to teach me? Tell me a process that you would teach your clients to go and do to say, start with this, do this, move on to this. Is it a 3-step, 5-step process? What's Barry Mulligan's secret sauce?
So the secret sauce is, if you came to me, the first thing I would do is we would teach you how to make content that actually, like, that shows you who you are and gets your education or gets your personality out there. Then we would look at the posting regime that you're in. Are you posting daily? Are you posting once a month? Are you posting daily 1 week and then not coming back for 2 months? Then we would sort that out and we would look at a content calendar for you. Eventually, we would be starting to look at insights. Now, this is where people can really make the difference. If you are looking at your insights on any of your platforms and you can see what's working and what's not working, there will be posts that will absolutely bomb. I would suggest never ever returning to that if it bombs every time. You can reuse the content you already have. If it does really, really well, redo it in a different way with the same message, because people don't remember your post for last year. They won't remember. And if you do the exact same post again, they won't go, oh, I've already seen this. They'll go, oh, that's great. And your audience is moving so quickly that they don't remember everything. So you can reuse content. So that comes into the next point, where how much time do you have to commit to it? And you've got to remember that it's the same as anything. If you have very little time to commit to it, you're not going to see great results. If you can commit some time to it and you have it as a priority in your marketing, you'll see results quicker. But that's basically, I teach the process of what you can do better. And then we go into some AI tools as well. So one of the AI tools I absolutely love is a AI called Sono, which is a an AI for making music. So trending audio obviously does wonders for videos, but if you can come up with an original sound, the algorithm does like it, especially if people start to use it and use it and use it. And if you've got, you can make content on anything. So if you want kind of moody content and you want a song for it, go onto the app and say, I want an Enya styled song. It'll make you an Enya style song. That's your audio. If you want a happy-go-lucky song, you can type in, give me a OK Go song, and it'll give you a song similar to that. It's completely different audio, it's original audio, and you can use it. So you can make videos and content on, with the advances in AI, I would definitely say that's my biggest teaching when I'm teaching on how to make good content.
What differentiates between what is technically good content? That's because I thought about it. You know what? That's a great step to follow, but actually, we have to deep dive that part right there, which is I show people how to make great content. So, a few questions I've got. If I come to you, could you make me go viral?
It's possible. Viral still has a little bit of luck involved, but yeah, it is possible.
Absolutely. But what makes great content? So somebody watching this podcast right now goes, now, right, I need to write this down. What makes great content?
When you're thinking of viral content, you have to think of something that people want to share. So funny videos will always make good viral content. Think of the videos, if you scroll, everybody scrolls, I don't care who you are, everybody scrolls. You will find a video on Instagram that you think, oh, I really need to send that to somebody. That there is the potential on viral content. So if you've got a hint or a tip that is unusual or is in your niche, people will share it if they find it very, very interesting. If something is very, very funny, they will share it. This idea hasn't really changed since YouTube started. The most watched videos on YouTube were funny cat videos.
It's still cats and dogs. I know what memes I send my wife.
Exactly. There you go. You send it to your wife. You send memes. So that there is viral content.
And now I've noticed it's the two Bigfoots getting stoned on mushrooms that's going viral.
Mm.
That's the AI video. I mean, AI is that scary, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, AI. I seen a video today, and it was AI of Bigfoot.
Yeah,
Somebody's
Bigfoot.
made loads of videos. Yep. So those, and one of the comments on it was, "This is as bad as AI is going to be right now."
Which means it's only going to get better. Yes.
Yeah, it's
I
terrifying.
saw that one. I saw that exact same video, and I'm like, you would believe there is two Bigfoots, one Bigfoot, one Yeti, talking to you, going a video log. Because I've seen the other AI, which is like Moses saying, "Yeah, I had to go and speak to Herod today." Video blogging, and everyone's like, "Oh my, it's insane. It's absolutely insane." All right, so top 5 apps, AI apps that you would suggest. Learn this, use this, get it out there. What would you? I know I've got one I recommend, and I don't, but because it helps me, which is Opus Clips.
Yeah.
And I've mentioned it to loads of people saying, look, if you want to put your podcasts out there, if you want to do your long content, short content, Opus Clips, phenomenal. I pay for it. I pay for the full lot. It makes my life so much easier.
Yeah, so Opus Clips is definitely one of the top 5, especially if you're doing long form content that is short. Mainly because it'll determine what they think will be most viral, likely. Suno, the music app, definitely. It gives you so many more options on audio. ChatGPT is obviously a big one. That is perfect for scheduling and copywriting. So if you're not massively confident in copywriting, ChatGPT definitely. The only thing I would say with ChatGPT is you really need to learn to speak in your tone.
You do, yeah.
Yeah, because people can tell when AI is written copyright. So I would suggest using it as a guide rather than a definitive.
Yeah.
And Notion's actually one that's not really.
Oh, I've not heard of that one. What's that one?
So Notion is a scheduling AI, which is good for planning your
Notion.
content. Notion.
Notion.
Yeah.
Right. Well, what's that do?
So it's for scheduling your content. So you can schedule your content on it. It's basically a timeline of your daily,
Is that like Hootsuite?
almost like Hootsuite, yeah.
Is it cheaper than Hootsuite? Because that was too expensive. I'm like, that's pointless.
I probably think it might be.
Yeah.
I've not off the top of my head.
So we've got Sono, ChatGPT, Opus Clips, Notion. One more. You need this app or this AI.
Claude. Which
Is that for images?
it's you. I would do my images on ChatGPT now because that has now became incredible.
It has. It really. Yeah, I've done a t-shirt brand with that one. Yes.
Yeah, there's another one that does videos. I can't remember the name yet because I don't do a lot of AI videos.
So what does Claude do then?
Claude basically is great for copywriting. Again, it's like ChatGPT, but it's a bit less static when it's speaking. So it's less detectable as an AI.
Wow. So the program I've used, because I didn't like ChatGPT because I knew you had to have it seems to be making it easier for the prompts.
Yeah.
And it's easier to learn my version of a prompt and go, is this actually what you're looking for? Could it? Because I've been using Easy Peasy AI, it had it all in there, but it had all the different easier ways of doing the um, ChatGPT made it easier. So I've been using that and paying for that. And I found that really helps. I'm practically illiterate on computers. And my wife, a lot of the times, has gone, why have you posted that? Can you please let me check first? If I'm typing anything into Facebook, she's like, you look like a mongoloid when you do that. I'm like, yeah, you've got a point. You've got a point. Not the best reference of terms, but it is what my wife calls me on a daily basis. So yeah, it's helped out immensely, genuinely has. But even I look at my posts sometimes, I'm like, that's clearly AI. That's clearly AI. So you do have to kind of work with that to get it a little bit less and less. Perfect. Well, look, that was absolutely fantastic. So we're saying if you're wanting to make viral content, make it something that people want to share. So
Yeah.
it's funny, dogs or cats, to be fair.
Yeah.
Now, somebody sat watching this going, I'm a coach, Cuddy. I work with trauma. Why do I want to send a picture of a Yeti or a cat as I'm trying to talk about? And I've seen a guy on TikTok and he's not moving anywhere. It's got great content, but he's not going anywhere. He's still got low. I actually asked him to come on the podcast. He's not replied yet. Maybe he's not using TikTok as much as he should. Because he's got great content, but he's still got low followings. Because camera quality makes a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, Instagram actually punishes you if your videos are low quality. So there's a couple of different settings that you can change in your settings on the Instagram app to make sure that you're uploading the best quality. But your phone camera is usually good enough.
Yeah.
They will film in 4K.
Yeah.
So as long as you're uploading it at the highest quality possible and you're not kind of moving it between different apps to get it compressed, it should upload pretty well.
Fantastic. Love it. Is there anything else you want to share and give away, Barry? Barry Mulligan, what a great name. For you to help someone to be successful with their social media starting tomorrow.
So this one, I'm going to send this one out to your coaches that kind of deal with trauma and stuff, because obviously sending funny videos isn't going to work for that. But what you need to do is, being funny is just tapping into somebody's emotion. So you just need to tap into the other emotion. Again, people will share it as long as it's relative and it makes them feel something. So if you've got trauma videos, or you're speaking about trauma, you need to tap into the fact that everybody's got a trauma in their life, that people will suffer from trauma on different levels, but you need to tap in where they go, actually, that sounds like me.
You're going to have to say that again. You lost me. And I'm like, I need to take this away because I work with trauma.
So it's sharing funny videos obviously hits the emotion of funny. Everybody's got humour. But for stuff like trauma, you want to make people go, what you're saying on that reel sounds like you're talking to me.
Give me an example.
Without
using ChatGPT, Barry Mulligan,
easy.
You're on the spot. Tell me.
So the biggest one you will probably have seen, definitely would have seen, the massive increase in people making ADHD content.
Yes.
How many people have you met that now suddenly know or have that self-diagnosed themselves with ADHD?
I would say 98% of people have self-diagnosed ADHD. Self-diagnosed.
And what did they do to make people believe that? Most of the examples they give are very, very vague, very, very normal things that most people do. And people went, actually, that sounds like me.
I mean,
now, I'm not saying
that vague. It's like, oh yeah, I overthink, and oh, I procrastinate. Oh, you've definitely got ADHD. And I remember seeing a comedian recently, and she went, it kind of feels like ADHD is a pyramid scheme because everybody suddenly they've got ADHD, and then when I say to somebody, one of my friends, oh, I was procrastinating the other day, sounds like ADHD. Would you like to speak to my guy?
so that's basically it. Whether it was right or wrong, morally I can't judge people
No,
for
me neither. No,
content,
you're right. You're right.
But they created an emotion in somebody where they went, actually, that sounds like me, and that's exactly what I would do when I was making content for
cold reading is what it is. It's literally cold reading. It's what the old psychics used to do. I'm seeing the color blue. I'm hearing the name beginning with K. Oh, it's Karen. All right, yeah, it's Karen I'm talking to.
I mean, if you look online right now, there's hundreds of agencies, and they use the same line when they're making sponsored ads for mostly gym owners and coaches. I'm looking for 5 guys that are wanting to improve their health and transform in 6 weeks. That is one line that they all use. And why do they use it? Because there's a guy somewhere going, that sounds like me. And that's it. That's all it is just talking to people and identifying what they want to hear that you can help them with.
Wow. So I get it. That's so clever. By the way, that's the. I had to ask you 3 times, Barry, because it didn't go in the first time. But now, for anyone watching this, you now generally have a super high value point of this is how you create value by making somebody think, oh, I have that, or that's me. Wow. That sent shivers down with Barry. That's amazing. Thank you very much. Barry, is there? We've come to the end of the podcast. I know we have. And for anybody, if you are enjoying the Mind Management Mentors podcast or you found some massive value in this podcast, like and subscribe and share these posts. And welcome to the Mind Management Mentors podcast, where we have solutions. It's about finding solutions. If it's in the mind, it can be managed. Barry, is there anything else you want to say?
No, just thanks for having me on. It was a pleasure.
It was an absolute pleasure. And as always, big love from Cuddy. And we'll see you on the next episode of the Mind Management Mentors podcast.